Okay. I don't know if he's ever mentioned that before. That's unfortunate. It's heavy. That's why I'm pausing a lot, honestly. That a lot of that is heavy, and I'm kind of trying to internalize it a little bit. I want that to soak in. Okay, cool. So, Logic dropped a new single called Teleport, and yeah, I thought there was a video. It's not a video. It's a performance. I guess it's only 30 seconds. This I saw this tweet, and then I was like, oh, I should probably go listen to that because I heard like 2 seconds of this and it sounded like a high energy. Look at him. He looks like he's spitting. So album comes out August 9th still. I still have to buy the vinyl, pre-order it. I'm just iffy on pre-orders. Last album from him that I pre-ordered was Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. I think no. I got No Pressure pre-ordered, but he was selling that as his last album, you know. So that was like a special situation. Okay, so Mission Control I really liked. Deja Vu I liked. 44 ever, whatever. It's something. Fear I think is dope. I think it's cool. I was just afraid, like, is this going to be the entire sound of the album? That's pretty much the only thing I was worried about. I was afraid I was going to get too much poppy Logic, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case from this. So really 44 More is the only one I didn't like. It's just how I feel about it. Quick review. It's just rapping for the sake of rapping. He's not saying anything. He's not saying anything in an impressive way. He's just putting words together in a non-impressive way. It's like faux lyrical rap. So like, I don't like this at all. Definitely the weakest out of the 44 series, but everything else I've liked so far. All right, let's get into it. I love the instrumentation. It's giving me, it's making me excited for the album and what the album's gonna sound like. So it's 2 skits on either side of it, or 1 skit on either side of it. You said you're bugging me like zzz. Bitch, you bugging me like zzz. Everybody wanna get, but they don't got discipline. Bobby on that ish again, got big games like Michigan. Don't think they listening. We love the Michigan shout out to me. Yeah, the beat's real nice. It's relatively simple, but I like it. You know what I mean? It's old school. It's easy to listen to. I like that. I wonder why it's called Teleport though. I feel like it should be called Zzz. I like this though. I like this. On top of the world and got a divorce in front of the world and get a new girl. And what do I see? My face on the cover of TMZ. Private jet, bad bitch and me. I'm loving the content in the second verse. That's what I was about to say. I was like, I want him to rap about something. I understand. I listen to Dad Bod. There's not much to rap about in his life at the moment, but at the same time, yes, there is. You gotta just get creative. Dad Bod, for example, was one of the best songs on that album. And he's just rapping about going to the store. You know, you can tell stories, you can talk about personal things, whatever. So it seems like he's picking it up in the second verse as far as the content goes. But then also what I'm liking is that you can tell he's actually caring about the raps, which I need from Logic. Because sometimes it can seem like he just does not care about the raps, and he's more focused on, does it sound good? But like the actual structure of the rap. Because I don't know, for me personally, it doesn't sound good if the structures, you're not saying anything, or the structure is just haphazardly thrown together. You're just flowing for the sake of flowing. You're not saying anything that matters. This isn't that. It's great so far, and it's fun. It's creative with the zzz. Like, I've never heard somebody do that before. So it's creative. I like it, and it's written well too. You know, you can be fun and creative and also write really strong as far as like lyricism goes. I don't know why people think you have to make concessions. You do not. Also, is that the first time he's ever addressed him getting a divorce from that, what's her name? Because, no, I think he's said it before, but he's never really got in depth or talked about it or whatever. And I think that's what's missing from a lot of his music is don't really know who he is, or like, no, we know who he is. We know, yeah, no, that's not fair. We know who he is. We know his interests and things like that. We don't really know what's going on outside of, I don't know. It's tricky. It's tricky. I feel like he put it. I think what it is people can feel the restraint, or at least I can. I can feel the restraint on what he's putting out, and that's a good thing for as far as like for his health and stuff like that. That's a good thing. But I think musically, sometimes it feels like you're just like poking at things, and then you're like, oh, that's interesting. You want to talk about it, but no, and I understand why.
Private jet, bad bitch and me. I am a slave, no, I'm not free. Have no bargain, have no plea, except
I hear what he said. I wonder what he means by I'm a slave. No, I'm not free. Does he mean to like social media? I'm assuming, or it's not social media, but just like the media in general, TMZ, whatever. Like he feels like he's not free to live his life. He's kind of under a microscope all the time.
When I was a little boy living in the void, I was never joyed, world destroyed before it began. Never had a man, never had a figure to hold my hand with under teleport. 7 years old, I'm covered in blood. A man on the floor, my mama in jail, and I'm all alone, dirt under my nails.
This is all I want. This is all I want. And you can tell, like I said, you can just tell he's rhyming or rapping and writing is the word I was looking for, with intention. That's what I need for this entire album. Well, I know it's not for the entire album, but for the rest of it, that's what I need. I need intention, both from like a lyrical standpoint, but also from a content standpoint. Like if you don't have anything to say, don't say anything.
My mama in jail and I'm all alone, dirt under my nails, no food on the table, my people have failed. Teleport 10 years old, man, the world so cold, and I got
I like
no money.
that.
My mama no money, my daddy no money, my family no money.
That abrupt transition.
I'm hungry, I need it. I turn on the television and envision the food that they got. I can eat it. I teleport. 8 years old in the basement with my daddy, girlfriend, she big breasted, shoved her tongue all the way down my prepubescent throat. I was molested. Teleport, mama got arrested. Teleport, houses roach infested. Teleport, first time got arrested. Teleport.
I love this. Which seems like an odd spot to say that, but okay. I don't know if he's ever mentioned that before, but that's really, jeez, all right. It's hard to say anything about that. There's not much to say about it. That's obviously a really messed up situation and unfortunate, but it's like, yeah. But from a musical standpoint, I really appreciate him being vulnerable like that. I think that's dope. And it's kind of like, it's like in live, like in real time, reacting to what I was saying about him, sometimes not revealing enough to make it interesting. That's not fair, because like you shouldn't have to say, like, reveal that to make it interesting. But I just think at this stage in his career, you don't have to reveal a lot, but you just have to be super creative if you don't have much to talk about. It's kind of like, it's a give and take. It says what it is. I don't know if that made sense. I was kind of thrown off by that whole thing, to be honest. That's a really unfortunate situation. That type of stuff bothers me. I don't like it. Not that I don't like that he shared it. I'm just saying more so like it upsets me. Like I don't like that happened, but from a musical standpoint, that was really dope that he shared that. And I love the whole teleport transition to different stages of his life. Talk about something, teleport, before he dives too deep into it. And I wonder if I just love it. It's like jeez, man. I really like that. It's very creative, and the writing here is on point. Wow. I really like that.
Teleport 10 years old, man, the world so cold, and I got no money. My mama no money, my daddy no money, my family no money.
At first when he did the teleport thing, I'm like, oh, that's like a weird, like it broke things up oddly, and I didn't like it. I was like, oh, that's really like, I thought it was like lazy at first. I'm like, oh, that was like a lazy way to finish that rhyme. And it doesn't even sound like you're gonna rhyme with teleport again. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh, teleport, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I see what you're doing, and I obviously get why this is called that.
My daddy, girlfriend, she big breasted, shoved her tongue all the way down my prepubescent throat. I was molested.
Okay, messed up, but the rhyming. I've said this before. I'll say it again a million times. When you're telling a story, especially a real one, so these things actually happen. So you have to tell the events a certain way. Like there's no room to really change things up. It happened. It becomes difficult to rhyme so many syllables because you have to find words that match each other with multiple syllables, but also continue the story that you're trying to tell. So it becomes a little bit more difficult, and he's doing that really well here. With prepubescent, big breasted, like he's describing the scene, describing the situation, while also telling his story. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry, big dog. Sorry that happened to you. People are terrible.
My daddy girlfriend, she big breasted.
But listen to how he's like painting this whole picture. I'll stop pausing. But listen to how he's painting the whole picture of that basement and what happened, and roach infested.
8 years old in the basement with my daddy girlfriend, she big breasted, shoved her tongue all the way down my prepubescent throat. I was molested. Teleport mama got arrested. Teleport houses roach infested. Teleport first time got arrested. Teleport. Daddy looked me in my face and said he had no son. I'm 12 years old, but maybe 11, and I've been abandoned by everyone. Teleport. Shot my homie's gun. Teleport. Get kicked out of school. Teleport. Now I'm on the run. Teleport. Watch me act a fool. Teleport. Fed the day I was kidnapped by this cracker white boy and hoped I get back. They dreaming about millions, hoping I get that. Teleport. Now I'm 28 at the garden and it's sold out.
You got kidnapped? That whole thing was crazy. Personal, by the way. I'll rewind it all the way back.
Faces said he had no son. I'm 12 years
That's
old.
crazy. And I think people get on logic about how much he gets on his dad, especially in that interview where he's kind of just airing him out and calling him out his name and stuff like that. And I even think it's weird, like when I watch that, but at the same time, I'm aware that their situation is unique. And I think that's what people forget. That's what people forget about, like a lot of celebrities. They forget their situation is very unique, or just people in general. People are just very judgmental and aren't thinking about what they've went through is not the same as what you've went through. You've gone through or whatever. I'm about to sneeze. That's why it sounds like I'm about to sneeze. and this is just another example of that. Like people were like, or like Eminem with his mom. People are like, oh, he always talks about killing his mom. I'd never do that. I can't relate to that. Okay, you're not him. He lives a different life. Listen to his life story. This isn't you. This is like, why are you trying to? One, that's just a lazy criticism, just to say you don't like him because he's white. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. This is just another example of why it's important to know the context of people's lives and their stories before you start judging them and how they react to things and how they. He has a lot of baggage he needs to work through. Not publicly, not on. If you want to do it in your music. Don't do it on a camera. Don't do it in an interview with your dad where you don't want to air out. I mean, it's not for us. It's not for us to see. It didn't benefit any of us. You sit down with your dad, you don't got to do that publicly. But at the same time, if you did want to air him out publicly, who am I to judge? I've never been through something like that. I've never had, my dad say, I don't have a son. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. So like, if that happened, maybe I want to do the exact same thing, So like I don't want to judge him in that sense. That's crazy though. And I'm liking this. This isn't coming across. See, the reason I'm liking this, it's not coming across as pandering. It's not coming across as, look at my trauma. It's not coming across as like poverty, P word, and logic can tend to do that. And I don't know if that is what it is, or that's just the way he's telling the story can sometimes be. It's very much can come across as, look at me. I was broke. I sold drugs. I did this. I cooked crack one time. It can come across like that sometimes. And that's how a lot of people feel about him. And people feel like, oh, you're just using, you're not actually this. You're just trying to be that. You know what I mean? It can come across that way. And I think it's just the way he's telling his story sometimes, rather than his intention. And I think because he's had trouble fitting in and everything like that and all that type of stuff, when he does come out and he's trying to almost prove that, hey, I've been through all this stuff. I am this. When you're coming out and you're telling your story like that, people can read that, but they read it incorrectly. They read it as it's, I don't know, lame. People are weird. People want you to be a certain way, or people want you to stop being a certain way, or whatever the case is. You come out and you tell them, hey, this is it. But like, oh, you're corny. You're corny. Why do you care so much about this? It's like the whole Drake thing. It's like when Drake and Kendrick had the whole Not Like Us thing. Kendrick called him a PDF file, right? everybody was like, oh, Drake has to respond. Drake has denied. He hasn't denied it. He hasn't even said anything about it. He hasn't done this. As soon as Heart Part 6 came out and Drake denied it and said, no, I'm not this, I'm not that. And people were like, oh, he's just, this whole song is him just saying, no, I didn't do it. Like, you told him to do that. So it's kind of like, it's a similar situation. That's unfortunate. It's heavy. That's why I'm pausing a lot, honestly. A lot of that is heavy. And I'm kind of trying to internalize it a little bit. I want that to soak in. This isn't something I feel like people are going to listen to this and then dip, or like, you know, oh, I like it, I didn't like it. And they're like, no, you need to appreciate the amount of stuff he's giving to you right now, because he does not have to do that. Yeah, that was the other thing. Was that like as a kid, or was that because the next one he's at 28?
About millions, hoping I get that. Teleport. Now I'm 28.
Yeah. So what age was that? Were like you active as a rapper and you got kidnapped? I don't remember ever hearing about that.
Let me teleport to February 6, 2020. Fuck rap, this the day that nobody can take from me. The day my son was born, I saw the whole world differently.
He's 4?
By my past, this a different me. And you can teleport the fuck about my face if you feel different.
That was dope. Yeah, I love that. I'm assuming this is just an outro. But I'll wait though, just in case there's an end credit scene. I love that. He said something I wanted to talk about though. When did he get kidnapped? Like, what happened? Can you elaborate a little bit? Like, what are you talking about?
Garden and it's sold out. Like some people say I did with my career, but I made it.
Oh, yep. That was what I want to talk about. So like some people said what he did with his career. Okay. I don't think he sold out necessarily. Yes, I do. A little bit. Just a tad. I would like to preface this by saying I'm a big Logic fan. I've been a fan since back in the day. So shut up. But there were some questionable things, and you could say like, oh, maybe he just wanted to do that. But then I feel like I've heard him come out and say, oh, I did this song because I wanted to get on my contract, or I did the song for the money, or I did the song because it streams. That's the type of stuff that you got. It streams well, or whatever. You know what I mean? And once you start, I feel like anytime you make a song for profit, for the sake of, I don't know what I feel about that. I don't know. I'll put it like this, because only he would know. When this is like this is. This was the album. I think I saw a tweet or something where he said something about this being his highest streamed album, most streams, whatever. I don't know. But if that's all this was for, then yeah, that's a sellout move. But I don't think he sold out with all the other stuff that people say he sold out for, like 1-800. I don't think that was a sellout thing. Even with the 1-800 line, my bank account looks like the number or whatever the case. I thought that line was hard. I don't think that means that it's not retroactively saying, oh, I don't really care about those people. Like, no. It's just a line. He's always a rapper, it's a bards, and it was a good one too. But no, I think this was genuine. I feel like it was from the heart. I feel like most of this was from the heart. I think he just kind of forgot the pen, so it came across more poppy than it was supposed to. Like if he was rapping at a high level, it wouldn't have come across as sellouty. I think this and this are like the ones that people are like, did you just do this because it's that sound, or getting Gucci on a song, you know, geez, like when have you ever rapped like that or with these people? It's like it comes across that way. I don't know, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, I don't know, right? So I think for those reasons, maybe do I think Logic is a sellout? I don't. It's just the way he talks sometimes can be very much like, yeah, you didn't like this, but I got this many streams, or I got this much money, or whatever. Let me vent a little bit. He said something like, if you don't like all of my projects, then you're not a fan. A fan stands for fanatic, which means they would like everything. No, that's not how that works. A fan is not somebody who likes every single thing that you ever dropped. That is what we call a stan. Stans are fucking weirdos. We don't like stans. Unless you're saying you do. I'm saying being a stan is a mental illness. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of pretty much everything. Even this, Everybody, I think it's like it's not as good as all this, but it's a good album. I think it's good. But yeah, most of this, except for like this and this. And this is right. So, but when you say things like that, that comes across like your priorities are different. That comes across like your priorities are, eh. Then you had songs on here. I forgot what song it was on here, but it felt like the song had nothing to do with immigration and border stuff. I'm not saying that that's an issue or whatever. I'm not saying that's like wrong or anything, but the video was about it, but the song was nothing about it. So that came across as performative. Same thing, the song Fear here, where the video is about like a drag queen thing, which is cool. Do your thing. I don't care. But the song had nothing to do with it. So it just felt like I'm picking these songs. I'm going to pick a hot topic and make my video about it. And that can come across as sellout. And I don't get it. I don't get it. I understand 1-800. The song is about that. The video is about it. That makes sense. Whatever song I'm talking about on here, it was like, what? Like, what? Like, what does this have to do with that? I wish there was some connection there. That's where it looks like performative activism and looks sellouty, as in like you're not actually going to make content about it or be really about it, but you're going to make the video about it to get more eyes on it. And I don't like that. Also, you say, oh, this just back on the sellout thing. It seems like once you've retired and came back, whatever. Also, the fact that it was a retirement album and then you didn't actually retire feels a bit sellouty. Like you're doing things like you're fake retiring. Look, you dropped a project every single year after you retire. You dropped the Doc D mixtape. I think it was called Doc D, right? Bobby Turner, this. So it's like that felt like a fake retirement. This felt like literally just to like get streams or whatever. It didn't feel like. Point is, once you retired, you came back. It seems like outside of this, you've been dropping things that sounds like what you actually want to make, like very boom bappy, rapping, making beats and stuff like that. This seems like what you've been wanting to do this entire time. And you said that you came back and you stopped caring so much. So doesn't that mean that you were selling out prior to that? You weren't doing what you love to do. You were just putting things out, caring about either making a profit or whatever. I don't want to get too hard on them because I really like this song Teleport, but I just want to talk about that for a minute. And I really do like Logic, and I want that to be clear. I'm going to give pushback. When people say things, I'm fair to everybody. I would do this to, he's one of my favorite rappers. So this is a testament to the fact that I would do this to anybody. I'm going to give you pushback on anything you say. I'm not just going to let them get off, I'm the most hardcore rapper in the world. I'd never sell out. I'd never do this. All right. And then what was some of these moves that you did throughout your career? You know what I mean? Like I'm a fan. I remember this stuff. I remember how you talk about you early in your career and how you would put on a portrayal. You would try to dress a certain way, act a certain way because you wanted to fit in with certain things. Is that not selling out? You could say that you're not one now or whatever, that's how you feel, but like at certain points you can't be mad if somebody looks at some of the moves that you've done, like faking a retirement. And let's be real, that's what it was. I don't care if it was like, oh, I don't know when I feel like retiring, and then it was fake retirement, dog. It was a fake rapper retirement. Everybody's done it. The game's done it. Jay-Z's done it. You've done it. Everybody's done it. But you can't be mad if somebody looks at moves like that and says it's fake or it's selling out. You can't be mad if somebody looks at a song that has nothing to do with the video, the issue you're targeting, and be like, oh, that's kind of pandering. You cannot be mad. This one I'd be upset about. I'd be upset about people picking on this one because this one I felt like you could definitely tell there's a lot of passion and care behind it, especially if you watch all the behind the scenes stuff from this album. But the other ones, like, you can't be mad. So I don't know. But outside of that, I really love this song. I think it was super dope, super creative, super introspective, written about as good as you can write it. It's perfect. I love the teleport transitions. Those are dope in between different points of his life, especially towards the end where it got more frequent. I'm excited for this album. I'm officially excited for this album. See how many skits there are, because that might change my excitement level. I'm assuming that's a skit. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like there's 4 skits, probably 5. I'm excited. And I don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of skits, when they're tying an album together and they're actually important and they actually are good. Good voice acting is good. They're on separate tracks, so when I on subsequent listens I can kind of skip them, because I don't want to listen to them every single time or whatever, or at the end of a track or whatever. That's my issue with College Park. It's like, I like skits, I just don't think the skits were good and they were on the track. So like anytime I listen to a song and a skit comes up, I gotta skip it if it's in a playlist or something like that. So I'm glad he fixed that here. Shouldn't have been an issue in the first place, but I'm glad he fixed it. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know, this has been 30 minutes. All right, I'm gone.